We come to this now. There's outrage over the artificial opening up of the Lake St Lucia Estuary in KwaZulu-Natal to the sea. Tons of beach sand have been removed to link the ocean with the lake. A group of scientists now want answers, and they have written an open letter to Environment Minister, that's Barbara Chrissy, expressing their dismay. But joining us now is Environmental Affairs Department Spokesperson, Mr. Albi Modise, just to give us some clarity on what the department's stance is on this matter. Mr. Albi Modise, good morning to you. Are you there?
Good morning, Tumelo. I'm here.
I mean, it's good to have you, but it seems South Africans want answers. The experts who've written to you are quite dismayed at the developments at St. Lucia. What has been the department's response?
Well, Tumelo, the minister received the letter. The open letter came through to the minister. And on the 29th of January, the minister received a response from the Ismangaliso Wetlands Park Authority. The minister had sought to get the indication or the rationale from the management authority as to why they had to open the estuary mouth. So that response came to the minister. The response also addressed some of the concerns that were raised by the 7 scientists in an open letter. The minister noted that the opening of the estuary arose from the discussions that were held last year. In October last year, there was a symposium, a multidisciplinary stakeholder engagement symposium that was held at Ismangaliso in October 2020.
Right.
The discussions that arose at that particular symposium looked at a wide range of issues and assessed the progress that has been made in terms of the ecological restoration and the effective functioning of the estuarine system in the area. There was an acknowledgement that St. Lucia lake system is a very complex and a very dynamic socio-ecological system. Therefore, the minister was actually perturbed to learn that despite the fact that there were those discussions, there seems to be different groups pulling to different directions, consequently questioning even the decision that was taken by the management authority. It was in that particular spirit the minister thought the report from the Ismangaliso authority would assist in giving her pointers as to how to go about doing that.
Right.
But after that discussion, Dumelo, the minister then decided that the two groups, well, firstly, the management authority, the rationale that presented to the minister, and the scientists who had petitioned the minister in an open letter, they were giving different contradictory and sometimes very cogent scientific arguments. It makes it difficult for a political principal and a department to arrive at a decision without being seen to be biased. It was in that spirit that the minister agreed that she was going to set up an independent scientific panel of experts that's going to advise her on the impact of the opening of the estuary mouth and how this will relate to the implementation of the project in the area.
Right. When you say, Mr. Modise, that the minister decided then to establish this panel because of seemingly, contradictory, opinions coming from these different scientific groups, is it because of the opinions that some groups in this instance were recommending to the department as well as the Ismangaliso authority for the department to rather guard against, the opening of this mouth, but actually to quote them that no artificial breaching of the mouth was to take place? Is this what you're particularly referring to?
It is that particularly. I mean, just if I may just unpack a bit of what the areas that minister wants the panel to look at.
Yes. Firstly,
they're supposed to look at the significance as well as the potential impact of the opening of the estuary mouth and how this is going to affect the estuary management plan. But also the second element is to look at the exceptional circumstances that could have led to the decision to open the mouth, whether they be environmental decisions or circumstances, they be social and they be economic, because there are also competing needs in that area. There are also environmental needs, there are also societal expectations, while at the same time there's a tourism element in it. But also the third point that Minister has asked that this panel should look at is the potential impact of the opening on the functioning of the estuary system. and the wetland system as a whole. So these are the points that Minister had said the panel would look at.
All right.
At this particular point, we are now, Tumelo, in the process of getting the panel constituted. And once that is constituted, we'll come back and update the nation as to what work has been done. Minister is concerned about this case, and that's why she's giving it all her full attention,
right,
and has requested that us officials must work on it.
Yeah, and not to put pressure on you, Mr. Modise, but do you know in terms of timelines when those recommendations can be expected?
Look, it's a tricky one, Tumelo. We've got holidays and half weeks that are coming up in the next weeks or so. But we are going to put much pressure into getting this particular process activated. Last week, as I'm talking to you right now, we had discussed the terms of reference and everything, so the advert must be going out this week, if not next week. But also, just to deal with the issue of the UNESCO listing that was raised in the interview the last week.
Right.
We have notified UNESCO of this particular matter. We are in discussion with UNESCO, so we will not in any way allow the Isimanganiso wetlands to be delisted from the UNESCO heritage site. We are concerned. We are really working together with the different stakeholders to ensure that our work that has been over the past 20 plus years that has seen the wetland park gaining that heritage status must remain as such. But we are parallel to that. As I said earlier, we want to make sure that we are in the week or two so, we are going to be putting out invitation for people who are supposed to serve on the panel. Equally competent and very scientifically inclined individuals who are going to have to assist us in arriving at a much more cogent, defensible, and a sustainable program that's going to assist us.